So, you're diving into biology. Welcome. Let's start with the biggest idea in the entire field, the one that ties everything else together. That idea is evolution. What is it? Simply put, evolution is the process of change in living things over many, many generations. It's the grand, sweeping story of how life on Earth went from simple, single-celled organisms to the vast, breathtaking diversity we see today. Blue whales, bacteria, towering redwoods, you. It's not just about where we came from, it's about the very mechanics of how life adapts, survives, and transforms. It explains the why behind the what of the living world. Why do we call evolution the central, unifying theme of biology? Imagine trying to understand a library where all the books are scattered on the floor. You could pick up one book and learn something, sure. But if you could see the Dewey Decimal System, you'd understand how every book relates to every other book. That's what evolution does for biology. It provides the organizational framework. It shows us that all living things, no matter how different they seem, share a common ancestry. This shared history is the thread that connects the study of a single molecule of DNA to the study of an entire rainforest ecosystem. It's the ultimate context. The rules of evolution play out across every level of life. It's a force that shapes the smallest components and the largest systems. To study the universe, astronomers look at everything from tiny asteroids to massive galaxies. Biologists do something similar. We organize the study of life into different levels, the biological hierarchy. It's like zooming in and out with a cosmic camera. Let's take a walk up this ladder of life, step by step. We start at the bottom, with the non-living building blocks. Molecules. Molecules like water, proteins, DNA. Group those molecules in a special way, and you get the cell, the first level of life. The cell is the fundamental unit of life. Nothing smaller is considered truly alive. Next, similar cells team up to form tissues, such as muscle and skin. Tissues organize into organs: heart, lungs, stomach. Several organs cooperating form an organ system, such as the circulatory system. All organ systems together make an organism: person, mushroom, oak tree, amoeba. A group of one species in an area is a population. Different populations together form a community: pigeons, squirrels, oak trees, grass, and bacteria. Add non-living parts: sunlight, soil, air, water, and it becomes an ecosystem. All ecosystems together make the biosphere. It's life on a planetary scale. It's our home. So, we have this giant, complex subject called biology. How do we make sense of it all? Beyond the hierarchy, we can look for recurring patterns or themes, fundamental rules that apply to almost all of life. Campbell's Biology lays out 7 of these major themes. Getting a handle on them is like learning basic chord progressions. Once you know them, you can start to understand and even predict the songs. These themes will pop up again and again. First, organization. We just saw this with the biological hierarchy. Life is not random chaos, it's highly ordered. At each new level, from cell to organism to ecosystem, we see novel features appear. This is called an emergent property. A single heart cell can't pump blood, but a whole heart can. A single neuron cannot form a thought, but a brain, a collection of neurons, can. Next is information. All living things store, transmit, and use information, most famously in the form of DNA. Third, energy and matter. Life is an open system that needs energy input and materials processing to build and maintain itself. A plant captures sunlight. You eat a sandwich, acquiring energy and matter to fuel life. Fourth is interactions. No organism is an island. Everything connects in a vast web. The fifth theme is our old friend, evolution, accounting for life's unity and diversity. The sixth, structure and function, form fits function. Let's zoom in on that second theme, information. This is one of the most fascinating aspects of modern biology. How does a single fertilized egg know how to grow into a complex organism? Where to make a heart here and a brain there? The answer lies in DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA is the blueprint of life. It's a long molecule carrying a chemical code, an instruction manual for building and operating the organism. The entire library of instructions is the genome. Your genome contains all the information needed to make you, you. Information is organized into genes. Each gene typically holds instructions for a specific protein, the cell's workhorse. Proteins digest food and carry oxygen in your blood, among countless roles. Turning gene information into a product is gene expression. Imagine a cookbook. Pick a recipe, copy it, transcribe from DNA to RNA, then bake the cake and translate to build a protein. Cells don't use all recipes at once. A skin cell uses skin recipes. A brain cell uses brain recipes, even with the same cookbook. This brings us to systems biology, which studies networks of genes, proteins, and molecules. Not just one part at a time, but the whole system, like analyzing the traffic flow of all cars, lights, and roads at once. With new technologies, we can measure thousands of genes simultaneously, revealing the big picture of life's information network. It's a holistic approach to a very complex system. Science isn't just a body of knowledge, it's a way of thinking. It's a process for asking questions about the natural world and getting reliable answers. This process is often called scientific inquiry. One common framework is the scientific method. This isn't a rigid, lockstep recipe, but a powerful guide for thinking logically and critically. It's a playbook for separating what is likely to be true from what is not. Curiosity, skepticism, a desire to know, a demand for evidence. It all starts with an observation. You notice tomato plants in sun seem bigger than those in shade. Why are they bigger? From that question, you propose a hypothesis, a tentative, testable explanation. Example: tomato plants that receive more sunlight grow taller. Next, make a prediction, often in an if-then format. A hypothesis is a specific, testable explanation. A scientific theory is a broad, well-substantiated explanation supported by a large body of evidence. After testing and analysis, share results for scrutiny, replication, and peer review so that knowledge can grow and self-correct. And that's basically how we ask questions in science. One of the most powerful tools in the scientist's playbook is the controlled experiment. Its purpose is to test a hypothesis in the fairest way possible by isolating the one factor you're interested in. A variable is any factor that can change. Change only one key variable while keeping everything else constant. The factor you manipulate is the independent variable, here, the amount of sunlight. The factor you measure is the dependent variable, here, plant height. It depends on the independent variable. Use at least two groups. Experimental gets extra sunlight. Control is treated identically otherwise. The control is your baseline. Keep water, soil type, pot size, and temperature the same. Otherwise, you won't know whether sun or something else caused the effect. By isolating a single independent variable, you make your test fair and your conclusions strong. Let's look at a classic example of evolution by natural selection: the peppered moths in England. Observation: light-colored moths became rare. Dark-colored moths became common. Question: why was the color changing? Hypothesis: dark moths camouflaged better on sooty bark and were eaten less by birds. Tests placed light and dark moths on dark-barked polluted trees and light-barked clean trees, then recorded predation. Data showed birds ate more light moths on dark trees and more dark moths on light trees. Conclusion: the environment selected the better camouflaged color. Natural selection in action. Modern example: antibiotic resistance. Doctors saw antibiotics becoming less effective. Hypothesis: random mutations make some bacteria resistant. Antibiotics kill non-resistant cells, leaving resistant ones to multiply. In the lab, most bacteria die, but a few survive and seed a resistant population, resulting in rapid, observable evolution. Sequencing pinpoints the resistance gene. The antibiotic exerts selective pressure, with significant implications for medicine. Both examples show inquiry turning simple observations into powerful, evidence-based knowledge. Biology is in the middle of a technological revolution. Just as the telescope revolutionized astronomy, new tools are transforming how we study life. We can see more, measure more, and analyze more than ever before, opening new fields and accelerating discovery. The first human genome took years and billions. Today, a genome can be sequenced in hours for hundreds of dollars. We diagnose genetic disease, track viruses in real time, identify species from environmental DNA, and build better trees of life. Super-resolution microscopes and fMRI turn biology dynamic. Massive datasets meet AI and machine learning to reveal patterns, predict protein folding, find drugs, and read medical images with remarkable accuracy. So, where does that leave us? We've taken a quick tour through the foundational ideas of biology. Evolution is the central unifying theory. It explains life's diversity and unity, shared ancestry and change over time. Life is organized from molecules to the biosphere, with emergent properties at each level. Themes: organization, information, DNA, genome, gene expression, energy and matter, interactions, evolution, structure and function, regulation, homeostasis. Science is a logical method. Observation, hypothesis, prediction, testing, analysis, sharing. Controlled experiments isolate an independent variable and measure a dependent variable. Technology, DNA sequencing, and AI are accelerating discovery. Be curious, ask questions, look for patterns, demand evidence, think like a scientist. Welcome to biology, the journey is just beginning. Thanks for studying with ChapterCast. This wraps up Chapter 1, Evolution, the Themes of Biology and Scientific Inquiry from Campbell Biology, 12th edition. If this helped you understand the foundation of biology, don't forget to like, subscribe, and save this playlist for easy review. Next up is Chapter 2, The Chemical Context of Life, where we break down atoms, molecules, and the chemistry that makes life possible. See you in the next chapter.